Hey guys, it's Jamie Jan, non-toxic farm mom, back in the kitchen because I'm hungry for breakfast. It's Fridays, and here on our little farm on Fridays, we get up super early because I have a swimmer who has to be out the door by like 4 o'clock in the morning. So it is 10 o'clock and I had a breakfast at 3:30. I had a breakfast at 6:30, and now my tummy is growling, and I thought this is the perfect time to do this video for all of you. Because 2 days ago, when I shared that I was going to be using my water glassed eggs that were over a year old, this is the first jar that I did in January of 2021. I have 3 other jars sitting over there in my corner of my kitchen. But when I shared that I was using those eggs to make banana bread, I got a lot of private messages on my farm page and on my Jamie Jan Non-Toxic Farm Mom Facebook page that were like, what? They're a year old. How can they possibly still be good? So I'm hungry, and I thought, you know what? They were like, can you eat? People were like, can you eat them? Have you tested them? Eating? Do you only bake with them? Like, I was getting all these questions. So I know that they worked well in banana bread, and if you follow along on our Little Bit of Faith Farm Facebook page or on Jamie Jan Non-Toxic Farm Mom Facebook page, you will see that I posted pictures of the banana bread. It was scrumptious. And so I am so glad that I did this water glassing. I'd never really heard of it until a few years ago. And like most of you, I was like, there is no way. How does that work? But it really does. And so they're good enough to eat. I had some yesterday. I scrambled some up yesterday and took a picture of them. They were yummy. They taste just like the eggs that I get out of the coop yesterday. Okay, they're really good. It's hard to believe that they're a year old, that they've been in this lime water for a year. So I thought I would do a video of it to prove to you that they're okay even after a year. All right, so we are gonna scramble up 2 of these water glass eggs that I put in here on January 6th, 2022. Okay, are you ready? So I already pulled them. I'm gonna move my jar. Oh, hold on, let's move it so it's not in the actual camera. Okay, so I already pulled these out. All I did was, so these, I promise, these came out of this jar. I just rinsed them off because the lime water settles, and so there was lime all over them. So all I did was rinse it off so that when I crack them, that it wouldn't, taste limey. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn on my oven. This is making my tummy hungry. Okay, so I've got my bowl. I'm making these just like I would make any scrambled eggs. Okay, so I'm gonna crack it, and then I'm gonna let you guys see it in my bowl so you can see the difference. Ooh, I might have just popped that with my thumb. Oh, I did. Oops. That's not the egg's fault. That's my fault. I stuck my thumb through the yolk. But I want to show you, like, there's no smell. None. It smells just fine. Like, when I did this yesterday, the whites are a little runnier. Like, when you crack a fresh egg, and you can tell it's fresh because the part that's going to turn white when you cook it is thick. That part was a little runny, but the yolks were all intact. So let's see if this one, let's see if I can not stick my thumb through it. Okay, let me see if I can show you before I dump it. So it still looks like an egg. I'm just afraid that I'll break it when I dump it. Like, you can even still see the white stuff. Like, it's been in there a year and it still looks like that. All right, so I'm gonna dump that in there. You'll be able to see that one. Okay, so let me hold it up before I scramble it up. Again, zero smell. Like, they do not smell rotten. Here, let me tip this so you guys can see the yolk. Can you see it? Okay, I know one of them's popped, but that's the other one. Like, it still looks perfect. Like, nothing bad happened to it. All right, now I gotta readjust my camera. Sorry, I took it off the stand to show you guys that. Okay, that's That's a little bit better. All right, so I'm gonna do these just like I would my normal eggs. I add a little bit of heavy cream to my eggs, and then I'm just going to beat them up, scramble them up. All right, I'm so glad you're in my messy kitchen. It is like super messy in here today, but it's real life here on the farm. So, all right, got my butter in my pan. Let's scramble us up some 1-year-old water glassed eggs for my mid-morning snack, or I guess we could call this brunch. Okay, so this is just like I would do them if I was fixing them for my children. So I'm gonna add a little bit of pink Himalayan salt, and let me grab my pepper. Gonna add some ground pepper, and we're gonna cook those up, and then I'm going to taste them right here so you can tell by my facial expressions if I'm telling the truth or not. All right, I'm back. Here are my scrambled eggs. Oops, my camera's on that side today. Okay, I'm gonna grab my fork. You ready? Let's see what they taste like. They're hot. You guys. Oh, sorry, that was rude. My mouth was full. They taste just like fresh eggs out of my chicken coop. Okay, I don't want to stand here. I'm really hungry. I don't want to stand here and eat in front of you, but you guys, I am so thrilled that I finally took the plunge and got brave and water glassed some eggs last year for my family. So I had no idea when I did this last year that the egg prices were going to be what they are today. All right, I know that egg prices are through the roof and people are having trouble getting eggs, and I get people all the time, like I raised my egg price like $1, but mine are still less expensive than the store, and I know mine are way better than the store. So I'm so glad I did this, because honestly I was just thinking, you know what, my chickens slow down, they don't lay as many eggs during the winter. I want to be able to feed us, I want to be able to bake, I want to be able to still provide eggs for my customers. So I was thinking we'll use the water glass eggs. But now I'm like extra happy that I tried this, because I know that this will keep my family like fed. And a lot of people asked me yesterday, why don't you put them in the freezer? Why don't you do this? Well, I don't put them in the freezer for 2 reasons. Freezer space in the Jan family on here on Little Bit of Faith Farm is a hot commodity, okay? So we have one chest freezer, and then we have a couple of freezers in some upright refrigerators. And so, you know, it's often filled with chicken, things like that. But I like to not use the freezer space for things like this if I can, okay? I like to have things that also, if the electricity goes out and I lose the food in my freezer, heaven forbid, but it happens. I know friends who have lost entire freezers full of food. Okay, that's scary. Like, I would never be able to cook it all up that fast and make sure that we used it all. So I like to have things that are canned and dehydrated. And now I can do water glassed eggs and have another way to preserve things. I mean, I cannot believe that I just never tried it before. And I cannot believe that this method has been around for years and years and years and years. I mean, you know, my great grandparents probably did this. My grandma may have done this and I don't even know it. Because they both had chickens. But this is such, I mean, it's low cost. It works. These eggs are a year old. And I'm excited about it. So it's literally just all you need for this. And you can go back to my water glass video. Make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel and follow along. But there is a water glass instructions that I did on a YouTube video. There is where I tested them at like, I don't know, 5 or 6 months into the process. And now there's this where it's a year old. So you can see step by step by step that they are good. And all you need is distilled water, pickling lime. And I just used Mrs. Wage's pickling lime from the canning section of the store. And then I may have gotten it on Amazon actually. And then I used gallon glass jars, but you could use 5-gallon buckets, anything that's food grade that you have that's clean. And then you do need, because I got asked this yesterday, no store-bought eggs. Okay, nothing that's been scrubbed or cleaned or bleached. They need to be farm fresh eggs that are clean but have not been washed. That means that you pick them up out of the coop, there's no yuck on them, and you didn't scrub them, okay, or wash them, because you want the protective bloom on these eggs. If you scrub them or wash them, even like if you just take a paper towel and try to get off pieces of dirt, it's not gonna work. It needs that protective layer that the chickens laid the egg with. It's there for a reason, okay? And then you're gonna get them, they will last longer. So I want you to give it a try. If you are a small farmer or a big farmer and you're like, I have a surplus of eggs in the summer, this is a great way to make sure you also have eggs during those winter months. So give it a try, especially if you have family that goes through a lot of eggs. We go through a lot of eggs. I have swimmers, and my husband and I like eggs because it's a great source of protein. It's just one of those staples. And now I can feel like I can bake more without diving into the fresh farm eggs because I have these. So give it a try. I'm gonna link that water glass video here below. Okay, hit subscribe to Non-Toxic Farm Mom, Jamie Jan, Non-Toxic Farm Mom. And if you want to follow us on social media, I will link that below. But you can find us on Little Bit of Faith Farm. That is our family's small homesteading journey. You can follow me on Facebook and Instagram on Jamie Jan, Non-Toxic Farm Mom. So I hope you will find us there and follow along for all things sustainable, all non-toxic ways of living your life on a non-toxic budget. It doesn't have to be expensive, all right? Thanks, guys. Thanks for following along.